talked a little bit about the weekend series against ASU, maybe some positives, and, talking about your team still trying to find ways to win. Did you step any closer in that direction over the weekend?
Well, that little Sun Devil, he wasn't any nicer to us than that Leprechaun was the weekend before. But that's, there's what we do ain't easy. And we've got a young team. We knew that. I knew when we scheduled Notre Dame and Arizona State that it was going to be tough. They were going to be very stiff competition. But we did that for a reason. We do it for a lot of different reasons. Our kids want to play those games. Our fans want to see those types of opponents. I think it's healthy for us to see where the bar is. We're not going to see a better team during the rest of the regular season than Notre Dame, and there's going to be very few teams that we see that are going to be better than Arizona State. So, there's some benefits in that. Okay, now where do we go from here? We got a long ways to go as a team. It was disheartening. The disheartening part on both weekends, where I thought our guys put up a spunky, determined fight for pretty much the entire weekend, but then the final period of the second game each weekend got away from us. And I thought we had Arizona State in a good spot. It was 2-1 after the second period. We had outshot them, outplayed them. They appeared to have be fatigued, and I thought that they were in a good spot. And I think that was a missed opportunity. We went out and in that third period got away from us. We took an avoidable penalty, too many men on the ice, and we turned two pucks, grossly turned over two pucks it was gross. And when you do that with any teams, let alone teams of that caliber, the puck's going to end up in the back of your net, and sadly, we're kind of in the same place that we were after the Notre Dame series. We put up a good fight for the majority of the weekend, but at the end of the day, the series got away from us in the final period of the final game on each weekend. So I asked the guys yesterday. I said, are you happy we played these games? Do you want to play these opponents? I go, we've got Notre Dame next year. We've got Michigan State coming down the road. You want me to get out of those? And it was a resounding no. They want to play those, and obviously, to me, that was a layup. I knew what the answer was going to be. Okay, so where are we going to go from here? We need to stay confident knowing that we competed with these teams, but also we have to look at realistically in the eye and say we got a long ways to go. We got a lot of improvement that we need to make before we can have a chance to beat teams like this, and or even have a consistent chance of trying to beat a team like this. Ultimately, if this team were to maximize its potential and find a way to get to the NCAA tournament, you'll look back at this and say our guys are going to know. They're going to know what they're going to be facing in that NCAA tournament. So there's benefits to it. You just hope that you can't allow games like this to demoralize you, which there's no reason they should. The games got away from us, but they got away from us because we let them get away from us. Those were good teams, and we beat ourselves more than they beat us, but that's what good teams are going to do. They're going to take advantage of mistakes that you make, and they're going to make you pay for them. No, we have a long ways to go as a team, but I like our group, and we're looking forward. We're looking forward to the journey. So we're looking forward to seeing what we can, what we can do against RIT this Thursday and Friday.
Was going to just talk about that, Coach. RIT doesn't really get any easier. Quality opponent. I think they're 3-1 on the season. What do you see from them? I think it's a conference matchup. I mean, you expect the intensity to be just as high this Thursday and Friday?
They're just in our sport, and I don't know if the only difference is in basketball and football is there's a lot more teams playing in those given sports. Basketball's got, I think, over 300. I don't know how many football has, but it's certainly a lot more than 60. We only have 60 teams playing Division I college hockey, and there's more than enough good enough athletes to fill those rosters, those 60 teams. So I guess where I'm going with it is there isn't anybody, we scheduled Notre Dame and Arizona State, which certainly are on the upper echelon of the 60 teams. But even if you were to schedule teams on the bottom of the echelon of the 60 teams, there's no gimmies, there's no layups. And so we're going to be challenged every weekend, regardless of who we play. And our league is on a significant uptick. It matter-of-factly is. Like I said last year, an indicator of that was our last place team was Canisius, and they swept North Dakota. I mean, that never would have even remotely had a chance of happening in the years preceding. But our league is on a big uptick. There's no layups. We're going to be challenged. We may not see quite the consistency and skill level that you see against Notre Dame or the top guys on Arizona State. You might not see that on RIT, but I'll tell you what you will see. You're going to see a team full of men, guys that were 20 and 21-year-old freshmen, 23 and 24-year-old seniors, and they're going to be deep, they're going to be strong, and they ain't going to be fun to play against. That's Atlantic hockey in this day and age.
I want to ask you a little bit just about a younger team, right? So 0-4 to start, a couple tough games right out of the gates here. How do you keep your team from maybe not pressing, putting too much pressure on themselves? Because obviously, like you said, you're in it to win it, but winning is hard and these opponents are hard. So how do you kind of progress to where they're playing good hockey but not overthinking that, man, we need to win one of these games?
Well, I think it's always in the back of your mind. We got to find a way to win a game, but also the winning the game. It's about the process. It's not just going out and wishing and hoping and wishing and hoping. That's not going to help anything. With our guys, we looked at, okay, what didn't go right for us this last weekend? What didn't go right for us the previous weekend? What can we control? Well, we can control what we do with the puck when we have it on our stick. And this past weekend, we happened to be wearing white jerseys. When that puck is on your stick in the defensive zone and you're wearing a white jersey, your responsibility is to make sure that puck goes to somebody else that has a white jersey, not a maroon jersey. And the only time that if you're going to give it to somebody that's in a maroon jersey, you're relieving pressure out of your zone. You're dumping it out in the neutral zone, making them regroup against our neutral zone structure. But other than that, when we're breaking out, our guys aren't thinking about defense. They're all going to attack positions. When you turn the puck over on the breakout, when you're breaking out and you're on the attack, you are you're extremely vulnerable defensively, and that's what happened with two, obviously with the empty netter, but the other goal that we gave up, that we turned over in our zone, it was we just had no chance to recover from that turnover. So, in answering your question, let's find out: are we good enough? We don't know if we're good enough or not yet. We don't know, but one thing's for sure. Let's make sure we control the things that we can control. Let's become more difficult to play against. Let's take better care of the puck. And when we get to a point where we're not beating ourselves, then we'll know, are we winning games? Are we not winning games? Then we'll know if we're good enough or not. You know what I'm saying? But right now it's more complicated. Before we make any decisions on are we good enough, are we not good enough, first we have to clean up our own game.